Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into the world of digital tokens. We're going to follow their entire journey, from just an idea on a whiteboard all the way to becoming a living, breathing part of the digital economy. So let's jump in and trace that life cycle. All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the absolute basics, the blueprint of a token. Then we'll meet the different token personalities. After that, we'll watch how they launch, understand the economy that keeps them alive, and finally, we'll get into the long game, the risks and the rules that guide them. So, first things first, before we can get into the wild ride of a token's life, we got to get back to basics. What is a digital token really? Okay, so at its very core, a token is a digital asset that lives on a blockchain. But the real magic is in that word programmable. This isn't just digital cash, it's a piece of code that represents value or rights or access. The best way to think about it is like a digital jeton, like a token for an old school arcade. It's your ticket to play inside a specific digital world. But here's where it gets really interesting. Not all tokens are created equal. They have totally different jobs, different sources of value. You could even say they have different personalities. So it's time to meet the family. This table just lays it all out perfectly. First up, you've got utility tokens. These are your classic arcade tokens, right? They give you access to a platform's services. Then there are security tokens, which are basically digital stock certificates. They represent actual ownership in a real-world asset. Next, we have governance tokens. Think of these as a voting ballot. They give you a direct say in a project's future. And finally, the famous NFTs, which are all about proving you own something totally unique, just like a one-of-a-kind painting. So you might be wondering, how do all these different tokens work so smoothly together across thousands of apps? Well, the secret sauce is standards. Things like ERC20 or ERC721. Think of them as a universal language. They're a set of rules that ensures every single wallet, every exchange, and every app knows exactly how to read and handle these tokens. It's what makes the whole ecosystem actually work together. Okay, so we've got our concept, we've picked a token type. Now for the big moment. How do we get this thing out into the world? It's time for the launch. The way tokens get launched has changed a lot. Back in 2014, it all started with the ICO, which was kinda the Wild West of crypto fundraising. Super flexible, but also incredibly risky. Fast forward to 2019, and we get the IEO, where big exchanges started vetting projects, which added a much-needed layer of trust. And then by 2020, with the DeFi explosion, the IDO became the hot new thing, allowing for these automated, permissionless launches with instant trading. You can really see the market growing up. But today, it's about so much more than just a sale. Distribution has gotten way smarter. You see things like airdrops, which are all about rewarding your earliest supporters to build a loyal community from day one. And then there's liquidity mining, where projects actually pay users in tokens to provide trading liquidity. It's a genius way to build your own financial foundation from the ground up. A huge launch is awesome, but it's really just the beginning. For a token to actually survive and thrive long-term, it needs a super carefully designed economic system. This is what people call tokenomics, and it's what separates the flashes in the pan from the projects that last. At the very heart of tokenomics is this huge decision, the supply model. You can have a fixed supply, like Bitcoin, which creates this digital gold scarcity. Then there's an inflationary model, like Ethereum, which lets you print new tokens to pay for things like network security. And finally, there's a deflationary model, where tokens are intentionally burned or destroyed over time to try and make the remaining ones more valuable. Each choice has massive consequences. And this right here, this is the goal. It really hits the nail on the head. A great token economy isn't just about the supply number. It's about creating this delicate balance of incentives that rewards people for participating, encourages them to stick around for the long haul, and builds a community that's genuinely loyal. So how do you stop the team and the early investors from just dumping all their tokens on day one and crashing the price? The answer is something called vesting. Here's how it works. At the launch event, maybe a small portion of tokens is released. Then comes the cliff, a total lockdown period where nobody gets anything new. After that, the rest of their tokens unlock gradually, bit by bit over months or even years. It's absolutely crucial for making sure everyone is in it for the long run. And when you look at how these tokens are actually divided up, you can really see that long-term thinking. I mean, sure, the team gets a slice, early investors get theirs, but look at the biggest piece of the pie. A huge chunk, often 40% or more, is set aside specifically for the ecosystem and the community. That's money for grants, rewards, and all kinds of things to help the project grow. So the token is launched, its economy is humming along, but the journey is far from over. In fact, this is where the real test begins. Now comes the long game, navigating all the risks and figuring out how to make decisions to ensure the project actually survives. This right here, this is the question that keeps founders and developers up at night. You can have the most brilliant technology in the world, the most passionate community, but this space is just littered with things that can go wrong. And the risks are everywhere. You've got massive economic risks, like crazy price swings or huge whale holders who can manipulate the market. There are massive technical risks, where one tiny bug in the code can lead to a total catastrophe, like the infamous DAO hack. Then you have operational risks from bad decision-making, and of course, the giant shadow of regulatory risk, with governments still trying to figure out what to do with all this. So how on earth do projects navigate these treacherous waters? Well, the answer, more and more, is community leadership. Through these things called DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, the power is given to the token holders. They can propose new ideas, vote on critical decisions, and basically steer the ship together. It makes the whole project way more resilient. And that brings us to our final thought. These tokens, they're not just numbers on a screen. They represent real ownership, real access, and a real voice in our digital future. So as they get woven deeper and deeper into the fabric of our online lives, the real question becomes, who's actually going to hold the power? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.